Welcome to Mafi Media. So I'm going to take you on how to create a HTML card that you can use in your web page. So without further ado, let's get started. So let's create a folder. Create a folder in our desktop folder. Let's name it HTML card. HTML card. Excuse me. So HTML card. So let's drag the card to Visual Studio Code. So automatic Visual Studio Code will load the folder for us. Excuse me, it's not responding. Okay, good to go. So this is our HTML folder. So let's create a file. Let's name it. Let's name the file index.html. So it's up and running. So let's create a boilerplate for HTML. So exclamation mark, press enter. So this is the boilerplate for HTML setup for our web page. So now let's create a container that will contain our card. So let's create a card. Under the card we create an image. Card img. So we put the source later. So let's have our alternative in case the image did not load. So let's call it a card image. So the next thing we have here, we have an h2, which is card heading. So the card heading, we put the content later. Then we now have a paragraph of card text. Cool, we are good to go. So let's have a card text. Let's just call it Lauren 10. Cool. Then the heading here, let's have a good heading. Let's call it management facilities. Good. Then the image, we don't have any image now, so let's hit go live here. Cool, you can see our card. So let's put our card now at the right corner here. So let's minimize this so that you can be viewing both at the same time. So you can do the same thing as I've done. So let's close here first. Close all this thing, all this pop-up. So now you can see the image is still blank. So facilities. So now let's go for image. Go to your folder and select any image of your choice. This. So is this now? Choose any image of your choice. Let me pick an image here. Close all this pop-up. So let me choose an image. So I'll choose this image. I'll copy it. And I'll paste it in my folder. So let's go to desktop, go to HTML card, and paste that image over there. See the image is there already. Let's close all this, closing down them. So now let's insert our image. So the image name is, if you click here now, see the image is images.jpg. So we now call it images.jpg. So you can see the image has shown up. So now this is where the game gets started. So let's create a CSS, call it main.css. So now let's link our CSS to our HTML. So here at the header, at the heading, then we click link. So we type link. You can see CSS, select it. Then you now select the part which is main.css. Cool. So to confirm if it's really working, let's select the tag for our body. We call it, let's say body background, let's say red, to confirm if it is, you can see it's up and running. So we can get rid of that. That is just to confirm if our CSS is really working. So now, before we do that, so let's select the HTML. Let's set the font size. Let's set the font size to 62.5%. So how do we get that 62.5%? So let's comment. Let's make a comment / asterisk. Let's make a comment. The comment how we get that 62.5% is 10 modulus, which is 10 divided by 16, which will give us 0.652. So we now convert it into percentage. Excuse me, sorry for this pop-up. I'll shut it down first commencing. So 0.5, 62.2, 65.2. So convert it to percentage, which give us is 2.5%. So because by default the browser come with a font size of 16 pixels. So now we are using rem because rem is relatively to the percentage of the browser, which is the parent, so which is the ROEM. So now let's work on that. So let's close our comment, asterisk / so we have closed our comment. Now that is the font size. So let's go to font family. So you can take anything, choose anyone. So we can see the font size that really affected the screen, which is 10 pixels. So let's go for box sizing, border box. So this enable the text or the content in our card not to flow out. So we have that up and running. So before I move further, let's go to the HTML now. HTML, let's create a wrap. So okay, let's create another div to wrap the card. Let's call it card wrapper. We'll copy this and we'll paste it anywhere here. Good, card wrapper. So now we have it already. So let's move. Let's go to our CSS. So we want to start formatting our card now. So let's have it a card wrapper. So we have our card wrapper. Let's say display. Let's display it to flex. Cool. So let's have a height of of 40 rem. So nothing happened. So let's go to card. Let's have our card now. Let's have a display flares. Cool. Have it display flares. So let's have our flares direction. Flares direction. Let's set it to column. Cool. You can see it's back. So let's have our what do you call it? Our card img. This is our card img. Let's have the font, the height. Let's set the height to 50%. So by the way, let's have our height here. Let's have our height in the card itself. Height, let's set it to 40 rem. That is our card. Have the card to 40 rem. So let's have the width. The width to, let's say, 40 rem also. Cool. You can see the card is still big. The width is big. So let's take it to 20. Wow, you can see. Let's increase the height to 60. Okay, so to see the background of the height, let's have a boss shadow. Let's have a boss shadow. Let's have a 0.3 rem, 0.2 rem. Then you can see you can see the height now. So now we can reduce the height now to 40 or 30. Let's see. The height is too much. So in the img now, so we can increase the image to maybe 70%. Can increase the image height to 70%. Too much. Let's say 60. Cool. I think 60 is cool. So in our boss shadow, so let's have a 2 rem here. Good. Then we now have a color. Then we have a color. We can now say light. Let's say we take let's use H. The H stand for hue, saturation, and light, which is luma. Then we now add opacity. Then we can now add the color here. You can now say we can add anything here. Then this 40, we say 45%. Now have percent. Then we can now have comma. Then we have 0.8. Good. You can now, if you want to adjust it, you can click here and take a gray color. Cool. You can see we are up and running. So you can see our card is coming up. So let's go to the wrapper here. So we can now say justify content. Let's centralize it. You can see our image is up and running. So we can now align it. Align items. Let's set it to center. Cool. So now let's start working on the card. So we can see the card. So let's see, adjust the position of the boss shadow. So let's increase it a bit. 0.4. Cool. You can see our card is coming up. So now let's go and work on the card. It's the card head. Is it card heading? So let's check it at the HTML. So let's see what we have. We have card heading. Good. So the card heading now. So let's set the font size. Let's get it to 2 font size. Excuse me, yeah, sorry for that. Card heading 2 good. Let's add it to okay. The 2 is too much, so let's say 1.5. Okay, 1.5 is okay. Now say font weight. Let's say bold. Then we now have text align center. Cool. So let's work on the text. I think we have card text. And let's have a font size 1.2. So let's check the name that we use for the card. Okay, card text. Okay, it's card text. Cool. You can see our card now. It's up and running. So this is our card. So let's go down and see if you want to have some fine tuning. So you can go to the card. You can add a color. So let's have a color. Let's use hexadecimal color H. Have 008 ED6. I think that is a fine bluish color. Then let's increase the font size a bit to 7. Cool. You can see our card is up and running. Then when we point to the card, let's point to the card. So let's add what we call cursor pointer. So you can see this is our card. So inside the card itself, inside the card let's use card heading, or let's use card heading. Card heading, let's use padding. Let's use 1.2. Padding is much, but 1 will be okay. 0.5 still much. 0.3 okay. I think it's okay, yeah. So cool. And this is our card. So to do this card, so without before I forgot, so let's use what we call a border radius 0.5 for the corner of the card. You can see the border radius here. It affects the bottom of the card, but it doesn't affect the top. What really happened is because the image took 100% of the card, so which cover the card itself. So let's go to the image. You can see this is the image here. So if you want to make let that border bottom radius, if you want to get that effect on our bottom card radius left and right, we say border top left, we add the same radius to it, which is 0.5 well. So border bottom right, say border radius border radius is, we have done right, so good. Left and right, so let's say 0.5 well. So we save changes. This is for the card. Okay, we have it for the card already, excuse me. So we put it from for the card, so not for the image, not the card, because the card has it already. It's the image that overlay it. So now save changes. You can see that we have everything done. So you can see the card. So if you want to have multiple of the card, you can go to your your wrapper. You can go to your wrapper, cut, paste, save changes. You can see the card. You have two card, so you can modify it here. You can call it John Doe. Call it John Doe. So you can change the image. So if you want to have an image here, so we can use you can have image. If it is placeholder, on https://placeholder.com/150. So let's see if we can see that image. That is placeholder image. You can see it's there. We have John Doe. So if you want to display the image left and right, you can set your container to display flex. So let's achieve that and call the container display flex. So let's go on top of, call it container display it flex. Cool. You can see they are side by side, so we can add gap to it. Call it forward. You can see gap. You can justify content center. You can see align item center. Then we can have a height of 100% so that the card will be at the center of the web page. So we have our height here, 100%. So you can see we justify it. Align item center. So cool. So let's maximize and see. This our what? This how to build a card. So let's go back and have it round up this particular course. So subscribe to this station, so I'll be giving you more updates on how to create a particular element or particular design in HTML and CSS. See you there.